steps to take if you believe you're under investigation for a child pornography case, or a search warrant has been executed at your home and you haven't been arrested in a child pornography case, in that type of investigation. There are very, very important things you need to do. One is you need to get a lawyer as quickly as possible, because what will happen is that if a search warrant is executed, and that's usually based on what's called a cyber tip. That's information that is transmitted from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to law enforcement saying, hey, we believe that an image containing child pornography has either been downloaded or uploaded to a particular internet service address. And then law enforcement does an investigation, they find out what the address is, and they execute a search warrant at that address. And they seize electronic devices. Now, the things that we need to do if that happens, if a search warrant has been executed and you haven't been arrested, what I do is I have my clients I hire as an expert a healthcare provider that does what's called a psychosexual evaluation of my client. It's a confidential evaluation, and I also have my client take a polygraph. And the polygraph is done with the specific directed at the specific issue of, has there ever been a child that's been touched? The reason being is that if the evaluation turns out well, in other words, if a doctor determines, listen, this person is not a pedophile, it's not a person who is predatory towards children, or if they pass a polygraph, then if there's ever a charge or if the person's arrested, it gives me a lot of ammunition to get that person out of jail. And so they're not locked up while the case is pending. There are a huge amount of benefits to that. One is you're not in jail. There's an inherent benefit to that. Two, these cases sometimes take a long time. I had a client who for these reasons, I was able to keep out of jail for almost 3 years. During that time, he did countless hours of community service, countless hours of therapy. And did lots of other things that impressed the judge. When eventually we decided to resolve the case without a trial, he was sentenced to a period of incarceration that was probably 60% less than it would have otherwise been. So there's lots of things you can do in these cases to help yourself, even if the case is going to end up getting resolved without a trial. Now, that's not to say we don't aggressively investigate and litigate these cases with the eye going towards trial. But again, those evaluations play a huge role. Polygraph can play somewhat of a role in those situations. One of the other things that's important to know about those cases is that again, it's a lot of forensic evidence. We have experts that we rely on to look at the evidence in those cases. And I think our clients really benefit from the use of those experts, because I think it's really helped us to get successful results.